Hi, I'm Ron David Lee, here with Channel 242 News. Scholars claim that there's an underwater conveyor belt called the thermohaline circulation. This is driven by density differences in the water due to changes in temperature and salinity. Brooke, honey, why don't you give us a rundown on where this goes?
Sure. Warm waters from the equatorial regions in the Pacific Ocean is transferred as a shallow current up to the Atlantic, where dry, cold winds chill the surface waters. The combination of chilling of the surface waters produces cold, salty, North Deep Atlantic water. This water then sinks deep into the ocean and flows southwards towards Antarctica. The current flows east into the Antarctic circumpolar current. The North Atlantic deep water mixes with the Antarctic bottom and deep waters. Then they split into two different currents, one flowing northward into the Indian Ocean and the other back up into the Pacific Ocean. They return as warm, shallow currents back into the Atlantic Ocean. More, Ron.
Oh, I love curry. Here's a fun fact. 75% of the world's oceans are ranged between -1 and 5 degrees Celsius, and 34.4 and 35 PSU. This leads to density potential gradients being relatively small, and the movement being rather slow. To teach you more about this, we'll take you across to our Atlantic correspondent, Ryan Fantana.
Atlantic Watch. I've been on some serious reports, but nothing quite like this. Studies are showing that the Atlantic water system is comprised of 6 separate water masses: the AIW, AAIW, AABW, CW, MIW, and NADW, by which I might add is the largest system. Formed off the cold coast of Greenland and contributed to by the Norwegian Sea and Labrador Sea, the cold, dense water particles about 2 to 4 degrees Celsius subduct to deep water depths of about 1,500 to 4,000 meters deep, traveling down the east side of the South American coast, before rising and finishing the first stage of its journey off the coast of Antarctica. Now that that's all done, time to musk up.
Great story. Compelling and rich.
Now I'll throw you over to our Antarctic sports presenter, Ben Whammy Whiteman.
The Antarctic circumpolar current encircles Antarctica, flowing from west to east, and stretches over 20,000 kilometres, forming the world's largest ocean current, and supplying other water bodies with nutrients, making the big game fishing superb. Ocean water at the high Antarctic latitudes is very cold and saline, causing it to sink. This water body displays these properties due to the presence of ice shelves and the effects and opening of polynomials. This water body is identified as the Antarctic bottom water. This cold, deep water flows to the lower altitudes, equalising the temperature and salinity difference of deep ocean water, with warm water flowing in the reverse direction to maintain water balance. This motion causes the movement of water along the whammy!
Now, over to our Pacific weatherman, Brick Kirkbride.
I am Brick, and it is raining behind me. I'm going to talk about the Pacific. The Pacific is the largest and deepest water mass in the world. It covers over a third of the Earth's surface. The cycle passes up through the east coast of New Zealand and makes its way towards the equator. The movement travels in a loop-like action in a clockwise direction, where it travels back to the west and through Indonesia into the Indian Ocean. The salinity around the equator is considered low because of the amount of rainfall. Other areas, such as next to Australia, is considered to be more saline because of the large winds and higher temperatures. The North Pacific Ocean temperatures tend to be warmer because they are all surrounded by large land masses. The South Pacific is a lot colder because all the water comes from Antarctica. It's often deep and more saline than the North Pacific.
From all of us here at Channel 242 News, good night. And you stay classy, Waikato.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Cannonball!
That's a Ouija.